The Bengals didn't face Von Miller. They didn't face Leonard Floyd. They didn't face the number 2 pass rush in the NFL with Ed Oliver being one of the best defensive tackles in the league. They didn't face our new coverage linebacker Terrell Bernard. And most of all, they didn't face Sean McDermott calling plays. And what's so special about this Buffalo Bills defensive line are all the players contributing in the total amount of sacks. Leonard Floyd tied for 8th in the NFL with 6.5. And then we have our guys down here, Ed Oliver with 5, AJ Epinesa with 5. This Bills defensive line is getting better and better, and it kind of trends alongside of Von Miller, who is also getting better and better coming off that injury. Von Miller is not even listed here, and we know what Von Miller is capable of. With the Bengals, we could see Trey Hendrickson with 8 total sacks, but the next player is all the way down here at the very bottom, tied for 35th in the NFL with 4 total sacks. The Bengals have 2 in the top 35, whereas the Bills have 3 in the top 21. And I know a lot of Bills Mafia sees that playoff game last year, losing 27-10, but we just have to reflect back to what unfolded last year. You know, the Bills, all the hurdles that we had to overcome between the Buffalo shooting, between Kim Pegula, between Damar Hamlin, and all the injuries on our team, the Bills were just really, really worn out by the time we played the Bengals in the playoffs. This is a much different team in 2023. And another thing to take note of is the amount of total rushing yards for the Buffalo Bills in this game. You could see we only mustered away 64 total rushing yards. Josh Allen with 26 of those rushing yards. Devin Singletary and James Cook, I mean, the stats there are pretty pathetic. And I just think it really boils down to what our offensive line was last year. This is a new revamped offensive line with Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance, and Spencer Brown, who has been balling out in 2023. And Joe Mixon going for over 105 yards, and a lot of people blame the loss of Daquan Jones, who we don't have for this matchup, but Brandon Beane was proactive this offseason, bringing in Poona Ford, a person that was going to back up him, as well as Jordan Phillips had a hurt shoulder last year, and I think both those guys bring some extra depth to the Buffalo Bills. And we also have Eli Anku, who was just brought back to the Buffalo Bills, a 325-pound defensive tackle to shore things up against the run. Bengals have won the last 3 games in a row, but we could see this article posted on October 5th states the Bengals offensive line falling flat to start the 2023 season. So we could draw some conclusions. Here it states that Joe Burrow isn't getting pressured at a crazy rate, 20.2%, 11 best in the NFL, but that's just because Burrow's gotten the ball out much faster than any quarterback in the league besides Tua at 2.44 seconds. Cincinnati's given up the second most quarterback hits in the league at 21, even with Burrow getting the ball out faster than any quarterback so far this season. The Cincinnati Bengals have still given up the second most quarterback hits in the league. And when you're getting the ball out quick, it really means a lot shallower of a route tree. And you could see here that the Bengals have had just 8 sacks, tied for 9th best, but also the fewest explosive plays in the league, 11 combined rushes of 10 plus yards or catches of 20 plus yards. In that 27-10 loss, we saw Joe Mixon go for 105 rushing yards, but what's happening in 2023? Rushing wise, the line has just been terrible for the Bengals. They rank 28th in average rush yards before contact, only 1.9 yards per carry, and have produced just 16 rushing downs, ranking 31st in the NFL. The Bengals have the 30th ranked pass blocking group in the league, going against, again, the second best defensive line in total sacks in 2023. Now, again, these stats are slightly skewed since this was posted on October 4th, but we could see the pass blocking grades through the first 4 weeks of the season. The Buffalo Bills were first in the NFL with a 92 overall grade. The Bengals are not even listed, and the Bengals have the 5th most expensive offensive line in the NFL. Now, I know there's some things to consider here with the Bengals and Joe Burrow playing hurt to start the season, really not being able to escape that pocket and throw on the run and do those things. But I really believe the Buffalo Bills having that interior pass rush with Ed Oliver is really going to help things out. Getting Joe Burrow off his spot, getting him moving moving, and knowing that they're trying to get the ball out extra quick, Sean McDermott is definitely going to be doing the game film study here and trying to lock things down. The Buffalo Bills in 2023 are a much faster team. You just look at Terrell Bernard at middle linebacker compared to Tremaine Edmunds. I really love the speed that we have at that middle linebacker position, especially when we're considering going against T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. We see what was deployed with this unique package in the dime formation with the Buffalo Bills and Jordan Poyer playing at linebacker. I'll link the game film study review that I made above, but Jordan Poyer playing at the line of scrimmage, playing on the right side, playing on the left side, playing off the ball, creating so much confusion there with Taylor Rapp on the field as well. Bills' success rate with those players on the field was outstanding last week versus the Buccaneers, and I really believe that is going to continue. Now, the real thing to understand with that is that the Bills were only calling that early in the game on third downs, on sure passing downs. And as that game transpired versus the Buccaneers, when we got up by 2 possessions, the Bills really kind of hung with that formation, knowing that the Buccaneers were going to have to pass. But if the Bengals can stay balanced on offense, if they could run the ball and keep us honest throughout the game, I don't know how often we're going to be able to deploy that formation. So the recipe for success still stands here, to get up by a couple possessions versus the Bengals, to allow the Buffalo Bills defensive line to tee off on Joe Burrow. We need to show Joe Burrow, Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, Ed Oliver. We have to show him Terrell Bernard, and Sean McDermott needs to show him a new style of defense here in Buffalo. I really think the Bengals are going to be in for a surprise going against this Buffalo Bills team. I don't think we represented ourselves very well last year. Obviously, the game getting canceled with Damar Hamlin going down, but also in that playoff game, we just went through so much. I think we were playing with half effort, half the energy, and the Bills now are here to make a name for themselves in 2023. It's about rattling the confidence of Joe Burrow, forcing him to also hold on to the ball, similar to the Miami Dolphins. You know, we really had Tua hold on to that football a little bit longer. We forced him to read his second option. We bet on this defensive line getting to the quarterback in time, and seeing that the stats that the Bengals offensive line has really been pretty poor so far in 2023, not only in pass protection, but also running and run blocking. The Buffalo Bills should be able to exploit this with, again, the second best defensive line in football. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are a little bit more hyped up for this game. I know a lot of Bills Mafia is concerned, and righteously so. The Bengals are still a great team offensively and defensively. But again, this is a revamped Buffalo Bills team in 2023. A new defensive line, much more speed at middle linebacker. Sean McDermott calling plays. Josh Allen and this offense starting to blossom with Ken Dorsey. Dalton Kincaid is going to get the start again here. We didn't have Dalton Kincaid last year. Khalil Shakir was a rookie last year. James Cook was a rookie last year. And again, Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance solidifying things. Spencer Brown is a new version of himself in 2023 too. So I believe the Buffalo Bills are going to be just fine. If you guys enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you hit like, subscribe for future content, and go Bills.